Yeah, because I mean I can speak on that personally,
Okay.
because I know that's my main chakra,
Okay.
and especially in my youth, I had asthma problems, so it dealt with the chest area. Um, I didn't really express myself well as a younger person, so it came down to speech. And sometimes when I get into it, I don't hear you. I'm not listening to you at all, and that's one of the main things in the throat chakra or your main chakra is listening. Also, you can't talk too much and you can't talk little,
Right.
so
Yes.
you have to be, like you say, that balance
You have to be balanced.
inside there,
Right.
and you have to be a good listener, especially when you're dealing with the throat chakra, which I had to learn, but as me working on my throat chakra, knowing that that's my main chakra, I have gotten better.
Mm.
I'm not in fuss argument mode with you all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that there I can speak really firmly to, because I know that's my chakra, my main chakra.
That's also my master chakra as well, and I struggle with the same thing. But mine, my anytime my throat chakra closes up, it goes back all the way to childhood. I
Right.
used to talk a lot in school when I first came to the States, and my mom used to tell me, "You talk too much." So
Right.
that type of and I'm not blaming my mother. I'm just saying that's just you know
Right.
they want you
Right.
to do good in school. They say certain things, and how a child conceptualize or processes that information, it could affect them later on, or they allow it to affect them. So likewise, you have to do the work.
Right.
You have
Got
to
it.
do the work. That's why it's very important to work on that root chakra
Yeah.
on up.
Right. You
All
got
right.
something else on it?
Uh, I mean, I have a lot on it. I'm just trying to
Oh,
give the basic,
okay.
the
Got you.
basic, basic.
Okay. Got you. I got emotional connections
Okay.
on my chart. It says
Yes.
psychic awareness,
Yes.
and intuition, the big picture, service imagination, focus on the good, and the clairvoyance of the creator being one.
That being said, be very mindful of not speaking your truth.
Facts. Yes, that's
Not
part of it.
speaking your truth could actually cause a closed throat chakra.
Chakra. Right.
Going along to get along for the sake of a group,
Right.
family members, and so on and so forth. If you feel that you're being subjugated, or something's going against your free will, or you don't want to ruffle feathers just because you to be a part, you can be doing damage not only through the throat but emotionally. You could diminish your will.
Right.
So all these things go together. And remember, the heart chakra was the gateway. We
To that.
didn't reiterate that.
Right.
And once you go through that, once you activate all the others and you start going through the heart, you're starting to intermingle with higher planes or dimensions of consciousness when you get to the throat chakra.
Right.
All right. So that's all I have for the throat. Unless anybody wants to
Let me
expound on anything.
Yeah, let me give some other things that my chart says. They say the planet for the throat is Jupiter. The element is light, which is interesting. Like for oils and stuff, they have lavender, silver for the metal. The sound, if you're doing a sound meditation, is I. It's like
You feel that
I, and you can feel it within your
throat.
in your throat. You can trust me, especially when you do I, because it's gonna reverberate all the time through that. And I think that's it. Food to do it is just it just says pure air. You need to get good air.
So breathing exercises.
Getting breath work exercises, especially even in your toning meditations. I breathe from my belly to my chest,
Okay.
so you can get a little better rhythm like that instead of just breathing in the mouth. I breathe through the belly to the chest through my nose first. My nose, breathe in from the belly first and bring it up to the chest and release it so you can get good air. And that'll help the throat chakra.
Okay. Good. All right. Moving on to the sixth density. So as the entity does the millions of years of evolution and growth, the conscious expands and moves towards the sixth density, which is the density of unity and balance. And this is the color, this correlates to the chakra of the indigo ray or the third eye chakra.
Right.
And again, you continue on in a light body. This density is the density of perfect balance of love and wisdom. And that's what is achieved here. The service to self path cannot polarize past sixth density. Polarity after much internal struggle, it's too much spiritual entropy for a sixth density being to continue on the path polarized negatively. So what'll happen through the wisdom that is gained, it'll realize it cannot be one or unified with the energy of the one infinite creator.
Right.
And it actually repolarizes to positive. So hold on. Yes, it repolarizes to positive. So at that level, and this is from what Ra says, it's like you can be as negatively polarized or negative perspective and keep doing your thing, working, bringing the lower energies up. Because what happens, whether you're love light or negative, you help those on the polarity or the path that they've chosen from the third density move forward. And as you help, whatever that is, service to self or service to others path, they polarize by helping, guiding, but allowing. And
Did you try again?
I keep doing that. By allowing entities to make a choice in choosing the love light path. And that's how they get more powerful.
Right.
By helping.
Right.
The negative path, they use fear, control, domination, lies, manipulation. And the more energies or entities that they bring onto their path, because remember, it's all in hopes of becoming a social memory complex, whether love, light, or negative. Some will call it angels and demons. They guide them up that way, and that's how they get more powerful. All right. So just so if for everybody that doesn't know, entropy is a lack of order or predictability, a gradual decline in disorder. So a negative entity, even though I'm the guy in charge and I got like 100 guys below me, everybody wants to be in my position.
Right.
So it's a constant battle to see who's going to be either next to me or become me.
Right.
So that's what entropy is. It's like it's a constant degradation of order, because the whole point of the negative path is moving from the ordered light to a disordered, the opposite. It's principles that are contrary to each other. And always remember that what you consider negative, or some would say evil, these beings have souls.
Right.
They've just chosen a path that is contrary to what we would consider is the light. They move in the dark and the shadow. Right. And both polarities are necessary for the learning and the progression of the one infinite creator.
Right.
Okay? So, all polarization from the service to others has been achieved. The sixth density soul turns backwards in time to serve as the higher self to complete its polarization into the seventh density. So I already explained that to polarize into the seventh, a sixth density negative entity will repolarize to a positive.
Right.
There is no negative, to my understanding, and from what Ra says, a higher self that's a negative entity. So understand this. On some level, if something negative has happened to you, you chose it on some level.
Right.
Because if your higher self or that God, the closest part of you. So with from our how we reckon to millions and millions of years in the future,
Right.
that version of you is guiding you forward. That version of you has 1 foot in infinity and 1 foot in what we consider time.
Right.
It's guiding you forward. It's love light, right?
Right.
So that means it's allowing you to make certain choices for its benefit and your benefit because you are it.
Right.
So when people like, oh, somebody put, I don't know, roots, or that person's wicked,
Right.
or all these terms we talk about for in this density, we have to label good and evil, right? We're only doing how we perceive it on this level.
Right.
But I'm saying on some level, we're all allowing it to happen for the greater good of the one.
Right. And again, man, in the sixth density, there's a complete unification of mind, body, and spirit.
Yes.
Right.
Whereas in the lower densities, there are, separation exists.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Of that unity. So I remember talking about last week. I had mentioned, going from polarization to unity.
Right.
You know what I mean? So and that's why I've seen a very central theme in several ancient texts, and the idea is that you as the being, you choose whatever it is that you have come to terms with that is necessary for your spiritual growth.
Right.
Right. And I'll also say in the sixth density, you transcend all physical limitation. Right. So there's no reason for you to really deal with things that are regulated to the sensory complex because they are really of no value.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Right. Everything is, essentially what, like in a lot of circles, it's like, man, I'm working on the spiritual man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on the spiritual being.
Right.
I'm trying to achieve the fruits of the spirit. They want to learn the fruits of the spirit, right? But you may struggle and you may be regulated to the context of the senses.
Right.
That may be applicable for your learning. So,
right.
That's all I got on it.
Okay. I'm just going to reiterate your higher self of you from your future and how we recognize time is the sixth density being or soul that exists outside of space and time and serves as a guide to every previous incarnation it has lived. It guides them forward. And this service allows that soul to polarize further towards the seventh density.
Right.
All right. Which is infinity. So we're going to move on to the chakras that correlates with that. Right. And so Kane.
Which is the third eye chakra. And I think the Sanskrit word is ajna. Ajna. And the color, like you said, is indigo. The prime function of it is intuition and understanding, having clairvoyancy, seeing beyond the five body senses.
In another way that I understand it is seeing non-physical reality or being able to peer into non-physical reality.
Right.
You're seeing through the veil.
Right.
You can see through the veil.
Right.
Continue.
And having great intuition. The properties would be your nervous system, and the gland would be your pituitary. You want to go over the pituitary?
The pituitary gland is the gland most frequently associated with the sixth chakra. Some experts also link it to the pineal gland,
Right.
which